Hello and welcome again to DMCA Chess Academy. This is your host, Ritesh Mathew. Today we're going to learn how to checkmate with king plus queen against a lone king. All right. So this is a super easy technique, and lots of beginner players, they don't know how to checkmate and they just go all over the place, and then they may end up stalemating their opponents. All right. Instead of easily checkmating, they might end up stalemating. So we're going to learn the super easy technique today. And this, you may end up in this situation if you are a chess player. You might end up exchanging everything off of the board, and you may go in an end game with maybe a pawn, and then the pawn is converted or promoted to a queen, and you may end up with a king plus queen going against the king. So let's learn the super easy technique. There are a few principles that I want you to know first. First things first, you cannot checkmate the king in the center of the board because king has lots of escape squares. All right, so 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 escape squares for the king if he's in the center. So king plus queen cannot checkmate the opponent's king in the center. That's number 1. Rule number 2 is you have to take the king on one of the 4 sides. So it's either on the 8th rank or on the 1st rank or on the A file or on the H file. All right, these are the 4 sides that you want to take their king, and then you can checkmate on any of the 4 sides. Okay, that's rule number 2. Rule number 3 is queen is going to do the maximum number of actually queen is going to do the maximum job first. 90 to 95% of the job of pushing the king on one of the 4 corners is going to be done by the queen, and king is just going to relax and take rest, while the queen is doing all the job and pushing the king on one of the 4 sides. And once the queen is able to push the king on one of the 4 sides, then the king will go ahead and help the queen to checkmate the king. So these are the 3 principles that I want you to remember. So let's get started. So first things first. First, you have to bring the queen as close to the opponent's king as possible. However, you just want to make sure that you don't bring her too close, because king can simply attack and capture your queen. So e4 or d3 in this case, and you lose the queen, and then it's a insufficient material to win, and it's just 2 kings by themselves is a draw. All right, so don't bring the queen too close. However, you want to bring her close enough at a knight's length. By that, what I mean is as if this were a knight and giving a check to the king. So bring the queen at a knight's length, first things first. And then once you do that, whatever they do with the king, you mirror that and duplicate that with your queen. So for instance, if the queen goes 1 diagonal down on the left side to c3 square, you also bring the queen down 1 diagonal down on the left. And then from there, if the queen goes 1 diagonal down on the right side on the d2, then you also move the queen. From there, pretend the king goes to the c1 square. You also duplicate and do the same with your queen and put your queen on e2 square. So once you get at a knight's length, just go ahead and copy them. All right. So I'm just going to turn on my engine here and see how black responds and how black plays. So he moved on the side. I also move on the side. He moves on the side. I'm going to copy and do the same. He moves down. I'm going to move down. Simple, super easy. Just keep duplicating. And now at this point, what you can do is your goal has been accomplished. You managed to push the king on the A file over here. So mission accomplished. So what you're going to do now is you're going to lock the B file. Since the king is trapped on the A file, you're going to lock the B file. Let me show you. You're going to lock the B file with your queen. Okay. And then the closest you can go to lock the B file is either B2 or B6. But obviously B2, their king will capture. So go on the other side. So let's put the queen on on the b6 square. Now you're going to like shut the doors and on the king, and the king is trapped on the a file. Now the black king may give a final resistance and move up, because your goal is to now push the king down on this side. However, since the king can still go one square up to a4, and now you are at a knight's length, you don't want to copy him anymore. What you want to do is bring the king somewhere in this, on this c2 square, so the queen can come to either the b3, b2, or b1 and deliver the checkmate. So you just move your king now. Now he cannot escape on the b file, and he cannot go to the a5, right? So the only place he can go is now down to the a3 square. Now you copy and keep pushing him down. So you just move one step and move the queen to b5. Now he doesn't have anywhere to go. It's a forced move. He can only go to a2. And you're going to do the same, and you're going to move down. Now he's trapped. Now here, a very, very big alarm and warning for white. White needs to leave at least 3 spaces. All right. If white leaves 3 spaces, then king can keep going back and forth to a1, a2, till you can bring your king here and do the checkmate. All right. So extremely important. All right. So now if the king goes down, you cannot put your queen to b3. Otherwise, it's going to be a stalemate. If you put the queen here, now the king is not in check. He can't move to any squares because queen is controlling a2, b2, and b1. So what happens now is king is not in check, and it's his turn, but he's left with no other legal moves. Black doesn't have any other pawns nor any pieces. So he's kind of trapped, and it's a situation which is called stalemate, and stalemate is a draw. So white, instead of winning this game easily, ended up drawing with black. And I've seen so many players make this mistake. They don't know the right technique, and they end up stalemating their opponent. So from here, if the king goes down, make sure you give them 3 spaces, okay? So you just move the king. All right, you just move the king, and now his king is confined within only 2 squares, a1 and a2. While he keeps repeating that pattern, you keep moving your king. a1, king d2, a2, king c2, and then no matter what he does, it's good. Now your queen has support of the king, so queen can go close enough and deliver the checkmate either on b2 or b1 square. Anything is fine. All right. So this is a simple technique. I hope you enjoyed it. Practice it as much as you can. Try putting your king and queen on different squares, and try several permutations and combinations, and see if you can safely checkmate. One more thing, if your queen is already at a knight's length, and if it is your turn to move, then don't be confused. Just waste one move and move your king anywhere. All right. And then you can start duplicating them. Once you reach at a knight's length and it's their turn, then you can start the pattern all over again. So it's a super easy technique. I hope you liked it, and keep watching more of my videos. Please like and subscribe to my channel for more music and chess videos. Thank you so much for watching.